Hello everyone, now let's dive into the types of organizational structures. An organizational system can be seen as an ecosystem, self-sustaining ecosystem. It has many factors with many interconnected elements. One key element that makes it run smoothly is the project management office. We'll cover that in the next section. So regarding organizational systems, they're influenced by multiple intertwined organizational factors. They're unique systems. These include management elements, governance frameworks, and organizational structure types. In this section, we'll focus on organizational structure types. Later on, how can we ensure our organizational systems run smoothly? This often involves the project management office. We'll cover the project management office in the next section. During the governance process, it standardizes all related information. Let's take a look. So regarding types of organizational structures, it's pretty obvious. A company may have a board of directors, a general manager, department managers for each department, a deputy general manager for each department, and further down, each department has its own project managers and team leaders, different personnel, you see. This type of organizational structure is essentially it's a big framework like the hardware of a system. Every company has its organizational structure, and they may look very similar, but their operations can differ. These differences are usually categorized into three types. One is the functional structure. One is a project-based structure. Another is a matrix structure. What are the differences exactly? They all look very similar, right? As for the functional structure, what does that mean? Each functional team focuses on a specific area. Instance, your functional team might focus on purchasing, and your team is dedicated to development work. Team handles after sales. Each functional team has its own responsibilities. This is a functional structure. What are its advantages? Its main advantage is that everyone in a functional team can focus on their work and make good progress. Thanks. Each person has a colleague to talk to, and they can discuss with one another. This helps foster the improvement of the expertise. But it does have some drawbacks. And what are they? It's that between departments and between functional teams, there might be silos. Communication and interaction might not be sufficient. If there's something that needs multiple departments to work together, it might be tough to move forward. It's tough. Another type is project-based. For project-based structures, they're actually similar to functional ones. They look very similar. But what's the fundamental difference? The team is formed for a specific project, and the team is formed, these project teams. Everyone works together to complete this project. Another project team completes another project. Each project team completes its own project. This way, they will be more cohesive. Everyone's working towards the project's goal as one team. So they are more cohesive, and the project manager can make decisions faster. Decision making. It's much easier, but it also has its drawbacks. So what are the downsides? Theoretically, let's look at the theory first. The theory is once the project ends, will the team be disbanded? The team will be disbanded. What will happen to the team members? They'll wait to be assigned to the next project. So that's project-based. It has its own advantages and disadvantages. Considering functional and project-based types, with their own pros and cons, we have a third type. What is it? The matrix structure. Within the matrix structure, depending on the authority balance, we have strong matrix, balanced matrix, and weak matrix. So what does that mean? Let me explain it briefly. In a strong matrix, when we're on a project like this, the project manager, let's say this is the project team, and the members of this team are drawn from different functional teams, making it a cross-functional team. And in this kind of project, the project manager holds more authority. Often these team members tend to listen to the project manager. When does this happen? Do these project teams exist? Just think about it. If one of your company's VPs were to lead the team on a specific project, that would be the case, right? Since the VP is leading the team, all project members, even their own bosses, even department heads, have to show him respect, let alone the team members. So in this situation, it's likely for the company, crucial project led by the VP, everyone primarily listens to him, but even when listening to the VP, does he still have to listen to his own boss? He still has to, you see. So you'll find that in this type of structure, the matrix structure, they have two bosses. The same goes for the balanced matrix. Take employee 3, for example. He has to listen to his boss and the project manager. This is even more so in the weak matrix. Employee A4, for example, he has to listen to his boss and the project manager. He'll have bosses. When you have two bosses, can lead to conflicts between them. Right. Say I assign you task, and he assigns you task B. Who are you supposed to listen to? Do or B? That's where it gets tricky. This is a matrix structure. It actually has a problem. Communication might be complex. Communication can be complicated. And there may be competition for resources, or conflicts over resources. Why use it at all? Because it has many advantages. What are the advantages? As we mentioned earlier about project-based structures, although they're great, what are their drawbacks? Another drawback is that if this project, just for the sake of argument, needs a project accountant, if your company has 30 projects, would you need 30 project accountants? That's a no-brainer. It's obviously not practical. So what's the solution? We can use a different approach. This project's accountant can work on project A, B, or project C. They can work across different project teams. They aren't tied to just one project team. This allows for much better resource allocation and utilization compared to the old, completely linear teams, where departments were walled off from each other. With this cross-functional setup, with this matrix in place, they're already interconnected. Between departments, they are integrated with communication and interaction, they say. The greatest distance in the world is not the distance between life and death, nor is it standing before you without knowing that I love you. It's that we're in the same office, but I have no idea what you do. This is a typical problem with the centralized model. However, if we have a matrix structure like this problem won't exist anymore. Instead, we'll be working together. You'll be involved in your departmental tasks, and you'll also be involved in project work. You might even participate in multiple projects. These things will become much more collaborative. It'll be more convenient. Regarding the matrix, we've already briefly explained it. Let's go into more detail about the difference between weak and strong matrices. As we just discussed, in a strong matrix, the project manager has greater authority, right? So they are more likely to listen to the project manager. Now, the balanced matrix means who gets to assign tasks. Naturally, the functional manager makes the call, but after assignments are given, these tasks are usually handled by the project manager, who decides how they are carried out. In this setup, both have considerable authority. It's quite balanced. That's the balanced matrix. In a weak matrix, the functional manager has more say. The project manager's input is secondary. That's a weak matrix. So weak balanced and strong matrix structures depend on what? The project manager's authority. More authority, strong matrix. Medium authority, balanced matrix. Less authority, weak matrix. Let's take a look. They distinguish them by organizational structure types, from functional to weak matrix, balanced matrix to strong matrix to project-based. The project manager's authority increases progressively. In a functional structure, there is no project manager role, no cross-functional project manager role. They are usually called. Who are they called? We call them a liaison or a coordinator. A weak matrix, you typically have a coordinator. In a balanced matrix, there's a designated project manager who's in charge of the project. In a strong matrix, the project manager is almost fully dedicated to the project team. And in a dedicated project team structure, the project manager has full authority. You'll see this reflects the project manager's authority. The role of the project manager is increasingly important. As for the exam, unless otherwise specified, in a balanced matrix, within a balanced matrix, where involved parties, the functional manager assigns the staff, the project manager assigns tasks, and determines the method. That's how it works. Now, as we were discussing, we mentioned the role of a coordinator and a liaison. So what's a liaison? They're basically messengers, responsible for passing on information and scheduling meetings, handling notices and stuff like that. And the coordinator does simple communication and coordination. They have very limited authority. It's only later that this role begins to manage the project. Of course, these are all theoretical models. What about in real life? In real life, it's mostly a mix. In reality, things are often mixed. It's not like, well, one specific type of company, rarely do companies rely solely on one single approach. Usually it's a mix of models working together